The story begins with a sweet Korean designer girl named Mary who arrives at her office to present her project. Unfortunately, the judges don't like her work and start insulting her harshly. Frustrated and hurt, Mary loses her temper and says, "Get lost, you pathetic people. I'm not working with you anymore." She storms out of the room in anger. Just then, her colleague Song calls her and says, "Why do you always react like this, Mary? You shouldn't get so worked up." Although Mary is talented and well-liked in the office, she's also known for her short temper. After work, Mary goes to pick up her marriage ring from a jewelry shop and calls her fiancé, Kim Woo-ju, asking him to meet her. But at that very moment, Woo-ju is in a hotel room with another woman, getting intimate. So we quickly realize that Woo-ju is a big cheater. He lies to Mary, saying he's in a meeting, and refuses to meet her. On her way home, Mary accidentally bumps into a teddy bear display and then heads to her new apartment, where she plans to live with Woo-ju after marriage. While on a call, her mom scolds her for registering her marriage secretly. "You didn't even tell me you got married in court? In our family, proper weddings are important." Mary explains that she can't afford a big wedding and doesn't want to ask for money. Her mom insists, "Then ask your husband. He earns well and comes from a rich family. By the way, where are you now?" Mary replies, "I just moved into our new house. I'll be living here from now on." Her mom blesses her for a happy married life, but warns her not to waste her husband's money. While cleaning, Mary finds an earring on the floor and a strand of hair on the bed, clearly not hers. She realizes another woman has been in her home. The next day, she meets Woo-ju at a cafe. He casually shows her photos from a photo shoot, pretending everything is fine. Mary questions him about a particular girl who always likes and comments on his posts. "She's just a coworker," Woo-ju lies. Mary puts the earring on the table. "Really? Then why does this girl have the exact same earring in her latest photo? And why was she in our bed?" Woo-ju panics and tries to cover up, saying, "She came over just to see the new house. The earring must have fallen accidentally." But Mary exposes another lie. "Last week, you said you were away on a business trip. But you both posted photos from the same resort, the same room." At last, Woo-ju confesses, "I slept with her because I was stressed. I don't want the pressure of marriage anymore." He starts acting dramatically, slapping himself and begging for forgiveness, typical manipulative behavior to gain sympathy. But then, the other woman texts him right there, saying, "When are you coming back? Let's sleep together again tonight." Woo-ju tries to hide the message, but Mary snatches the phone. He throws the phone on the floor and kicks it, trying to destroy the evidence. Mary stops him, injuring her hand in the process. Furious and heartbroken, she says, "We've been together for 5 years. You forget my birthdays, you didn't even show up for our wedding signing, and now you do this." She throws coffee on him and storms out, declaring, "I want a divorce." Meanwhile, we meet our male lead, also named Kim Woo-ju, a completely different person. He's on a flight back to Korea, sitting next to an elderly woman. A man comes over and asks, "Can I switch seats with you? She's my mother." Woo-ju refuses. Later, at the airport, he overhears the man telling someone that he tricked his mother into signing land papers during the flight. Realizing this, Woo-ju helps the old lady get her land back. He visits his grandmother, Pil, who loves him dearly and constantly asks him to come over for her delicious cooking. Woo-ju says he's busy but promises to visit soon. We then see he loves traveling and photography, posting beautiful pictures from across Korea. Back to Mary. Her divorce is in process. Woo-ju, the cheating one, has already signed the papers, but she hasn't yet. She's torn, wondering if she should finalize it. When he calls her, she pleads, "Don't tell my mom. She still sends you food every day." Just then, his girlfriend calls, waiting at the airport. Woo-ju lies again, saying his boss called him for work and awkwardly shakes Mary's hand goodbye. Mary mutters angrily, "Go to hell, you dog," and walks off crying. She vows to get rich and date many handsome men to move on, but letting go of a 5-year relationship isn't easy. She breaks down in tears. Meanwhile, the good Woo-ju, our hero, checks out of his hotel. The hotel owner sweetly tells him she enjoys his company and hopes he'll return. Woo-ju promises, "Next time, I'll bring you world-famous bread from my family's bakery." We learn that his grandmother owns a famous bakery, which recently won the Best Bakery Award. Back to Mary again, she decides to sign the divorce papers. Just then, a police officer arrives at her apartment. She learns that the entire building is part of a real estate scam. The real owner lives in the U.S., and the local manager faked documents, sold apartments, and disappeared with everyone's money. Mary panics and calls Woo-ju the cheater for help since he was the one who found the place. But his girlfriend tells him not to help, and he hangs up on Mary. So much for a 5-year relationship, he won't even lift a finger now. Devastated, Mary drinks heavily that night. Her mom calls, asking, "Where's Woo-ju? I cooked for him again." Mary lies, he's busy. Don't send him anything. Her mom senses something's wrong, but Mary insists she's fine and walks out drunk into the street. That's when she's suddenly hit by a car, driven by our hero Woo-ju. He rushes out worried. "Are you okay? Let me take you to the hospital." Mary refuses, but Woo-ju gives her his number and says, "Call me when you see a doctor. I'll pay your bill." When Mary saves his contact, she notices the name Woo-ju and assumes it's her cheating ex. "You bastard," she screams, attacking him. She kicks him, demands money, and accuses him of ruining her life. Woo-ju is utterly confused. He's never met her before. Thinking she's crazy, he pushes her away, but Mary keeps shouting, "You cheated me. You lost my mom's money. We have nothing left now." In the chaos, she accidentally sits on a cactus, screaming in pain. Woo-ju says, I think you sat in the wrong place," as the poor girl cries in agony. He rushes her to the hospital, where the doctor, his childhood friend Jean, treats her. The nurses giggle, whispering, "She must have been drunk and sat on a cactus. She won't be able to sit properly for weeks." Mary overhears this and feels utterly humiliated. Meanwhile, Woo-ju and Dr. Jean catch up. Jean teases him. "So, is she your girlfriend?" Woo-ju quickly denies. No. I just met her on the road today." Jean laughs and says, "All right then, how about coffee after this?" Woo-ju smiles and agrees. Just then, he notices Mary limping and immediately runs toward her. He helps her up and seats her in his car. Mary protests. "That wasn't necessary. I could have just taken a taxi." He replies, "If you sat like that in a taxi, imagine what the driver would have thought of you." It's such a funny scene. For a moment, even I didn't understand why she was sitting so awkwardly until I remembered, oh right, the cactus. She had fallen on a cactus earlier, so she couldn't sit properly. Now she's apologizing, realizing she took out her anger on him earlier. Morning begins to break. Mary stands by a river and says softly, "The sun rises and sets every day, yet happiness never comes into my life. How am I supposed to fix everything?" Just then, her stomach growls. She's hungry. She asks Woo-ju, "Can we go get something to eat?" Woo-ju replies, "No, I have work," and drops her off at home. As soon as she lies down on the bed, pain shoots through her body. She still can't sit straight. She rushes to the bathroom and vomits, thinking, "What have I done? This was all a mistake." Meanwhile, elsewhere, we see a company hosting a wedding couple festival where newlyweds can win a luxurious house in a rich neighborhood through a lucky draw. Everyone's excited. The house is being given by the CEO, Sanjayan, but the draw is a scam. Sanjayan has already written a name on a folded card and hidden it in his sleeve. He pretends to pull a random one from the jar, but by mistake, his card falls to the floor and gets mixed up with the others. When he picks one with a folded corner, he assumes it's his, but when he opens it, he's shocked. It's not the name he wrote. Cut to Mary, fast asleep, when suddenly she gets a call. "Congratulations. You've won the house in the lucky draw." She remembers bumping into a teddy bear earlier, the same one that gave her the form to fill out just for fun. She had folded the corner of that entry too, and that's the one that got picked. Now the company asks her to submit marriage documents as proof. But Mary realizes she doesn't have any. Her divorce isn't finalized yet. Since she still has the papers and never submitted them, legally she's still married. Quickly, she cancels her divorce case online and sends all her documents to the company. At the office, the manager asks the secretary, "When should we hand over the house?" The secretary replies, "Mary has sent all her documents, but her husband isn't in Korea." She'll be coming alone. The manager insists. No, tell her she must bring her husband. Otherwise, she won't get the house. Mary panics after hearing this. She tries calling Uju, but he doesn't answer. He's busy with his girlfriend and even deletes her voicemail without listening. Confused and desperate, Mary suddenly gets a message, Uju asking, "Did you go to the doctor today?" That's when she gets an idea. The company hasn't actually seen my husband's face, so anyone could pretend to be him. The next day, she meets Uju and says, "You said you're not married, right? Then would you be my husband? Just pretend, for a short while?" Uju is shocked. "What? Are you crazy?" Episode 1 ends. Episode 2 begins with Uju having a childhood dream, a flashback to a family trip where he argued with his father. Suddenly, they had a car accident. Everyone was injured and unconscious. Someone mysterious, man or woman, we don't know, approached him, but refused to help. Cut back to the present. Mary is thinking, if Uju is a good person, he'll help me. He has to. She calls him again. On Uju's phone, Mary's name is saved as Cactus. We see the same moment from the last episode, when she asked him, "Will you be my husband?" He's shocked. "Are you insane?" Mary pleads, "Just pretend to be my husband for a short while. Please help me. All you have to do is come with me to one store." That's it. Uju keeps asking why. What's going on? Are we going shopping or something? Mary avoids telling the truth and just gives him the date and time. "I'll pay you in return." Uju jokes, 100 million won. Mary sighs, "I don't have that much." Uju smirks. "Funny, that's what you said when you were drunk that night." Mary apologizes for that night, but Uju laughs and says, "I bet you're the type to kiss a guy in a car and then expect a hero to come save you." Mary yells, "No, nothing like that." Uju calls her a scammer and refuses to help. Mary tries stopping him, but he walks away. Meanwhile, at the company, Uju's aunt barges into his grandmother's office, furious. "How can you remove my son from the marketing head position and give it to Uju? That's unfair." The grandmother calmly replies, "It's not personal. Your son hasn't been performing well for years. Our business is in decline, we need change." The aunt shouts, but Grandma stands firm. "Remember, I chose your son over Uju once. You should be thankful." We see her son, Yoon-soo, lazy and arrogant, eating snacks in his office. His mother tells him he's being replaced, but he grins. "Don't worry. I already have a plan to bring him down once he takes the position." Later, Uju gets a call from Dr. Jean, who clearly has a crush on him. She hits her head in excitement when he calls. Uju tells her, "Grandma made me head of the office now." Jean asks about the cactus girl. Uju laughs. "She's crazy. She wanted me to pretend to be her husband for a day." Jean asks quietly, "Do you like her?" Uju quickly says no. Then, a little girl trips nearby, dropping a brown teddy bear, the same kind from Uju's childhood. We flash back to the accident again, when a young girl gave him a teddy bear before disappearing. Cut to Mary, being thrown out of her rented place by the landlord. She has nowhere to go and ends up sitting on a playground bench. Her mom calls, asking for the wedding date so she can book plane tickets. Mary lies. Uju's too busy right now. The date isn't fixed yet. Her mom advises, "If you fought with your husband, just apologize. Sorry keeps a marriage alive." Meanwhile, Uju starts his first day as department head. His uncle secretly tells his own son, Yoon-soo, to sabotage him during the meeting. In the meeting, they discuss influencer marketing and who'll design their product campaign. The project is assigned to Uju's company. They call a design firm, the same one where Mary works. Mary quotes a fee 10 times higher than usual. Her colleagues are shocked. She explains, "Someone called earlier and told me to ask for 10 times more. Maybe it was a prank." That call was from Yoon-soo, who disguised his voice to set her up. When Uju sees the overcharged quote, he says, "I'll speak directly with their CEO." Meanwhile, CEO Sanjayan is furious over losing the house in the draw and takes out his anger on his secretary, even hitting him with his shoe. The poor man's life is miserable. Sanjayan orders, "Tell Mary to bring her husband when she comes." No husband, no house. We then see a flashback. The mayor had asked Sanjayan to gift that luxury house to his nephew. To cover it up, Sanjayan created the fake lucky draw idea, which his secretary suggested. Now that it failed, he blames and beats him. Mary receives another message. "Bring your husband on time." Terrified, she considers taking her colleague's brother to pose as her husband, but then worries. What if Uju shows up too? I'll have 2 husbands. Cut to Uju's mother and sister, gossiping. "Where's Uju?" His phone's off again. Why did he break up with Mary? She was so sweet. Her mom used to send us food every day. But his mom replies, "Forget her. His new girlfriend is rich. She'll give us money." We realize they're greedy people. Mary arrives at their house, furious. "Where's Uju? I need to talk to him." His mother sneers. Who do you think you are? You're not even worthy of standing next to my son. You're just a college dropout. Mary retorts. I didn't come here for money. And now I understand why your son turned out so awful because of you. His mom raises her hand to slap her, but Mary grabs it and says, I know your husband raped a teacher. I can tell everyone right now. Both mother and daughter freeze in shock. Mary walks away trembling, heartbroken but free. Suddenly, she gets a call from work. A representative from another company is here to discuss a design contract. That representative is Uju. Yoon-soo smirks. If you can't get the deal signed, just resign. Mary hides when she sees Uju. After he leaves, she mutters, What was he doing here? But he suddenly appears behind her. Both act like strangers in front of the staff. Once alone, they start negotiating. Mary agrees to lower her price, but only on one condition. You'll have to pretend to be my husband. Uju threatens. I should report you to the police. Mary calmly replies, Fine, but if you don't get my contract signed, your company loses billions. She had overheard employees earlier saying that the deal was crucial. Uju hesitates, but then remembers his grandma's faith in him, so he reluctantly agrees. Mary even shows her cactus injury as proof of her suffering. In the next scene, both arrive at the store for the house handover. Mary gives him all the documents and even makes him wear glasses to resemble her real husband from the photos. They meet the manager. The drama begins. When asked for ID, Uju doesn't have any. So he fakes a phone call, pretending to talk to a doctor. What? I'm infected? I have to come for tests immediately. The manager panics. What happened, Mr. Kim? Uju says. There was a sick man sitting next to me on the plane. I think he infected me. The staff quickly hand them masks for safety and proceed with the award ceremony, exactly as the two planned. So Uju's face stays hidden. Finally, Mary receives the house documents, signs everything, and secures ownership. But before she can celebrate, Uju sneaks out, running away under the pretense of rushing to the hospital. The secretary says, Come on, let me show you both your new home. But as he steps outside, he spots Woo-ju again and says, Hey, didn't you go to the hospital? Woo-ju replies, I did, but came back early. My reports were negative. The secretary smiles and says, Good, let's go see the house. He takes them to a beautiful neighborhood filled with luxurious villas where only rich people live. We also see Yoon-soo and his mother driving by, clearly plotting something against Woo-ju. The newlywed couple arrives at their house, an enormous, stunning villa. The secretary asks, When will you both move in? Mary replies, This place is too far from our office. We'll probably sell it in a couple of days. But the secretary insists, No, you can't sell it. It's clearly written in the documents. You can't sell the house for 3 months. And you two must live here together. We might even assign someone to keep an eye on you, but that won't be necessary, because I'm your neighbor. See the house next door? That's mine. So I'll be coming by every morning to say hello, and we can jog together in the evenings too. Both of them are completely shocked. After the secretary leaves, Woo-ju gets angry. What the hell is happening? Why should I live here with you? Set me free, I've got work to do. He tosses the ring aside and storms off. Later, he calls Mary and apologizes for yelling. Just then, a car pulls up. It's his aunt and cousin Yisu. Yisu asks, What are you doing here? Woo-ju replies nervously, Oh, just came to visit a friend. Inside, Mary hears his voice and comes out saying, Hello. But Woo-ju starts running away. At that very moment, the secretary appears and says, Where's your wife? The aunt overhears, Wife? Mary also comes out, and suddenly everyone is staring at each other. The episode ends right at this chaotic moment. The next episode begins exactly there. Woo-ju gestures for Mary to hide, but she misunderstands and waves back, thinking he's saying hello. When she realizes, she ducks behind a wall, but her phone drops. The secretary says, I just saw your wife there. Woo-ju quickly distracts him and takes his aunt away. Meanwhile, the aunt hides something from Woo-ju. We'll find out what it is later. Mary sneaks out to retrieve her phone, but sees the aunt's car pulling up. The aunt hears a ringtone and finds a phone on the road. It's Mary's, with her mother calling. Curious, she picks it up and searches for the owner. Suddenly, she spots a foot inside the doghouse. Nervously, she peeks inside and finds Mary, looking like a zombie, asking for her phone in a terrifying voice. The aunt screams, throws the phone at her, and runs away, telling Yisu, Was that girl a zombie? Yisu laughs. Everyone in this area seems crazy. Just then, the dog from that house starts barking, chasing them off. Later that night, Woo-ju calls Mary asking, Where did you go during the day? She laughs, but doesn't tell him she was hiding in the doghouse. She asks, Who were those people? Woo-ju replies, My family members. Then he says, Let's end our deal. We've done what we had to. Now we go our separate ways. Meanwhile, Woo-ju's grandmother's health is getting worse. Dr. Jean and her father, who is also a doctor, visit to check on her. Dr. Jean tells the grandmother, Your blood pressure is too high. You need rest and less stress. The grandmother smiles. Jean, I've seen you grow up before my eyes. You've become such a caring woman. You should get married now. Have you found anyone? Her father jokes. Yes, she likes Woo-ju. Jean blushes and admits, yes, I like him. The grandmother is delighted and immediately decides she'll get Woo-ju married to Jean. At the company, Woo-ju meets Jung, a new employee who seems quite fond of him. She invites him to dinner, insisting she'll pay. Later, Woo-ju runs into Yi-soo, who teases him. You got that contract signed, huh? Did you know Mary before? Woo-ju replies, no, I didn't. Jealous much? Go ask her yourself. Elsewhere, Yi-soo's father, Young-gu, learns from a trusted employee that their partner company has been committing fraud and stealing money. Young-gu warns, don't tell anyone. I'll handle it. You'll even get credit for finding it. But later, we see that same employee die mysteriously in a car accident, clearly arranged by Young-gu himself to erase the evidence. Mary, on the other hand, looks for a new place to live since she can't stay alone in that big villa, and Woo-ju has already left. But every apartment is too expensive and requires a huge deposit. Desperate, she calls a friend to ask if she can stay with her, only to find that her friend has joined the army. While wandering, she spots a poster for a cheap hotel and checks in for the night. There, she notices a gangster-looking man staring at her, but she ignores him and goes to sleep. The next morning, she rushes to the hospital for work, where Dr. Jean recognizes her and says, Hey, you're the cactus girl. Jean asks about the scratches on Mary's legs. Mary explains, it was just an accident. I was heading home when someone helped me, paid my hospital bills, and even dropped me off. Jean smiles. He's a good man. He helps everyone. But why did you tell him he's your husband? Mary freezes, realizing Woo-ju must have told Jean that story, and nervously laughs. Oh, that was just a joke. Later, Mary attends a company meeting for product design and packaging with Woo-ju's firm. She performs well, impressing everyone. The team invites her to dinner that evening. During dinner, Young teasingly asks Woo-ju, do you have a girlfriend? He says no. Then will you get married? I'm not sure yet, he replies. They start discussing marriage and housing. Someone mentions, there was a supermarket lucky draw. The winner got a free house. They check the results, and to their horror, Mary and Woo-ju realize they're the winners. Woo-ju distracts everyone by pointing at the menu, while Mary does the same. But one of the employees spots their faces on the winner announcement and says, Wait, those two look familiar. Woo-ju quickly stuffs food in his mouth to shut him up. He drinks heavily and gets completely drunk. The female colleagues tease him, asking if he'll pay for everyone's meal. Woo-ju drunkenly agrees and starts offering his cards, but none have enough money, so Woo-ju ends up paying. One of the women complains, You should have let Mary pay instead. But Woo-ju knows they were trying to take advantage of her. When the party ends, Mary is completely drunk. A coworker tries to drag her away, but Woo-ju stops her and takes Mary himself, putting her safely in his car. The coworker grumbles, I was going to make her pay for drinks tonight. Woo-ju drives Mary back to her hotel. She mumbles the name of the place, half asleep. When they reach her room, Woo-ju is horrified, it's filthy. He also notices the hotel owner eyeing Mary's legs creepily. Woo-ju confronts him and tells him to get out. Later, Woo-ju realizes he left his car keys upstairs and calls Mary, but hears her scream. He rushes back and finds the owner kneeling near her feet. Thinking he's attacking her, Woo-ju punches him, only for Mary to shout, Stop. He was just cleaning up the food he spilled. The owner throws Woo-ju out. Later, Woo-ju sees Mary eating instant noodles and scolds her. She says, I didn't eat properly at dinner because I didn't have enough money. Woo-ju notices her injured feet and bandages them carefully. When he realizes she has nowhere to go, he brings her back to the villa and warns her, Stay quietly, the secretary must not find out. Meanwhile, Woo-ju's uncle congratulates the employee who exposed the fraud, then secretly poisons his drink. The man dies in a car accident on his way home. Now we know the uncle was behind the fraud all along. The next morning, Mary explores the neighborhood but hides when she spots the secretary. He later goes to the office and tells his boss they'll need to do a PR campaign at Mary's new house featuring her and her husband. The boss agrees. The secretary then informs Mary that next week, reporters will visit her home for a feature shoot. She must be there with her husband. Elsewhere, the news of the employee's death reaches Woo-ju's grandmother, shocking her deeply. The uncle pretends to mourn at the funeral, though he was the one who caused it. The secretary, meanwhile, is out jogging, remembering his boss's harsh warning, If anything goes wrong on PR day, I'll take everything from you, your house, your car, everything. We learn that his luxurious lifestyle actually comes from his boss, but at the cost of constant humiliation and pressure. That night, Mary gets home and turns off all the lights to sleep. But a mosquito buzzes around, forcing her to clap her hands, which accidentally triggers the light sensors, turning the lights on. The secretary, who happens to be outside, notices and rings the doorbell. Mary nervously opens the door. He hands her a vehicle registration form for the neighborhood, then asks, Why don't I see any of your husband's belongings here? She quickly lies. He works a night shift at a small company. His things are packed upstairs. The secretary leaves, but Mary immediately calls Woo-ju to explain everything. The next day, they go to a studio for a wedding photo shoot to make their marriage look real before the PR visit. The photo shoot starts off calmly, but soon turns romantic. Their pictures come out beautifully. Just then, Dr. Jean arrives at the same studio with her friends for a shoot and spots Woo-ju. Woo-ju panics, hides, and pulls Mary inside. But Jean opens the door and catches a glimpse of a couple kissing passionately. Shocked, she freezes. The couple, of course, is none other than Woo-ju and Mary, kissing for real this time, to avoid being caught. The episode ends right there. The next episode opens right from that moment. Jung, not Jean, as mistaken earlier, blushes and runs away embarrassed. Mary and Woo-ju awkwardly wipe their lips, both flustered by what just happened. The next day, they hang the framed photos in their villa. Woo-ju visits the secretary's house to borrow a hammer. The secretary hands it over and says, "How's your business going, Woo-ju? Mary told me you work nights." Woo-ju smiles and replies, "Yes, that's right." The secretary offers, "Come for a walk with me sometime," but the couple politely declines and walk off hand in hand, looking every bit like a real couple. At the office, Jung keeps staring at Woo-ju. Her coworker teases, "Why are you staring at him?" She whispers, "I saw him doing a wedding shoot yesterday." Another colleague, Soo-and-I, joins in shocked. Jung adds, "I didn't see their faces clearly because they were kissing." The three women become overly curious. Meanwhile, Mary sits nearby, trembling with fear. Jung glances at her and says, "That girl in the photos looked just like Mary." Mary's heart skips a beat. They decide to call the studio to confirm who was there yesterday, just as Woo-ju walks in. Jung starts making the call, but after the meeting, Woo-ju assures Mary, "Relax. I gave them a fake name." Mary sighs in relief, but both are still embarrassed about the kiss. Woo-ju teases, "I only kissed you lightly, but you practically climbed on me. Who kisses that long?" She blushes and defends herself. "That was only because of Jung." He laughs and hands her the clothes she left behind that day, then asks, "Will you help me? My grandmother loves your work and wants to meet you." Mary returns to her office and tells her friends everything, still flustered, still unsure of what's happening between her and Woo-ju. Mary's friends tell her excitedly, "Becky's owner is such a nice woman. She loves hardworking people and really appreciates good work." Hearing this, Mary becomes even happier and prepares to meet the grandmother. Meanwhile, the grandmother is talking to her uncle. "How was the fair?" she asks. The uncle sighs. "It went well, but there's something I need to tell you. Our employee, he turned out to be a fraud. He stole company money, gambled it away, and lost everything. I was about to confront him, but then all this happened." The grandmother is stunned. "That loyal man, how could he do such a thing?" The uncle replies, "We should keep this matter buried. It shouldn't go outside the family." Later, during the family dinner, we see the grandmother giving that employee's position to Yusu. She even expresses her desire to help the late employee's family. But one of the aunts interrupts. "Why should we help his family? His wife never once came to see us, and he died because of his own carelessness. Who drives drunk anyway? What if his family had been with him in the car? They'd all be dead too." The entire room suddenly falls silent, and everyone turns toward Uju because Uju's own family had died in a similar accident. Uju's expression darkens. He quietly excuses himself and goes to his room. The grandmother scolds the aunt. "Did you really need to say that in front of him?" Yusu adds, "He's too emotional, Grandma, and honestly a bit of a coward. Once, when we were kids, I took away his favorite toy, that teddy bear he carried everywhere, and he got so scared he cried for hours. And then, we see that same teddy bear again, the one given to Uju by a little girl long ago." The story flashes back to the past. After Uju's car accident, he was crying for help on the roadside when a taxi stopped. Inside were a man and his young daughter. The man called the police, and before leaving, the little girl gave Uju her teddy bear, a toy her father had gifted her for her birthday. A little later, Uju's grandmother and uncle arrived at the scene. Uju ran to them for comfort, and when he looked back, the little girl was gone. But she had left her teddy bear behind. Before leaving, Uju saw that same girl crying outside after hearing about his parents' death. She wept because she knew Uju was just a child, and now he'd have to live alone. Back in the present, Mary is seen lost in thought, blushing with guilt. "Why did I do that?" she wonders. "We barely even know each other, and I kissed him. But it was fake, right?" Elsewhere, Dr. Jean is searching online for a perfect romantic location, somewhere she can propose to Uju. She finds a spot and calls him excitedly, asking to meet that night. Uju replies coldly, "Go out with your friends. I don't have time." But Jean insists until he finally agrees. She jumps in excitement, smiling shyly to herself. At the hospital, Jean asks about one of the patients, the grumpy villa owner. The staff laughs. "He's pretending to be sick. He plays games in his room all day. You must have seen him gaming yourself." Just then, the man's secretary enters with food for him. Jin quietly watches. Meanwhile, Mary and Uju are decorating their home because their boss, Sang-jae, is supposed to visit. They even match their outfits, looking like a picture-perfect couple. They rehearse questions and answers written on a paper. How did you two meet? When did you get married? Where are you going for your honeymoon? Mary laughs. Not yet. We're planning to go to London. Uju chuckles. That must have cost a fortune. Mary sighs. Not really. I gave all my savings to my ex-boyfriend. Even the money my mom earned. I handed everything over. Uju shakes his head. Some people really lose their minds for love. When Uju asks how she met that guy, we flash back again. Mary was drowning at the beach during a vacation, and Uju, the ex, saved her. That was her first love. She had already started dreaming about marriage, but that dream turned into a nightmare. Mary admits she deeply regrets falling for the wrong man. Uju tells her gently, "Don't regret it. You'll meet the right person soon, someone who's perfect for you." Meanwhile, Mary's mother keeps calling. She's prepared a big dinner for Uju and his family, as she often does, to maintain good relations. But here's the twist. This isn't our Uju. It's Mary's cheating husband, also named Uju, and his arrogant family. They're extremely rude to Mary's mother, looking down on her for being poor. When Mary doesn't answer her phone, her mother calls Uju directly. He's relaxing at a hotel with his girlfriend. He ignores the call, and moments later, he sees a flirty message on his girlfriend's phone from another man, inviting her to a hotel room. Uju is shocked and furious. Here, we see the secretary at the police station. He calls Mari and tells her that they won't be coming to her house today. Something urgent has come up. Then he goes inside, where we see an injured man who has been badly beaten by Sang-yeon. But the fault was actually the man's. He had attacked Sang-yeon first. However, the CCTV footage only shows the part where Sang-yeon is hitting him, so the situation now seems to favor the injured man. The secretary offers the man money to drop the case and he agrees. Meanwhile, Mari and Uju realize that Sang-yeon isn't coming today. Uju starts to leave, but he notices some paintings and asks Mari about them. She explains that they are demos for her next project. He sits down to discuss them with her, as if he just wants to spend time together, quite the opposite of before, when he would escape from her within seconds. The secretary then informs Sang-yeon that he has settled the matter. But Sang-yeon scolds him, asking why he paid the man so much. The secretary replies that the man had a video recording and that Sang-yeon could have gotten into serious trouble. Sang-yeon says, "At least my father hasn't heard about this yet." The secretary reassures him, "Don't worry. He still believes you're the victim, that you were the one who got hurt." Meanwhile, Mari and Uju are talking about work, designs and all. Their conversation slowly turns personal, touching on first love. Uju admits that he has never fallen in love before, which Mari finds hard to believe. She playfully hits him with a pillow, getting quite comfortable around him, but quickly apologizes when she realizes how close they've gotten. Just then, Jin calls Uju and asks where he is, reminding him that they were supposed to meet today. Sitting with Mari, he had completely forgotten about it. It wasn't exactly a date, but still a meeting. Poor Jin, however, was all dressed up and looked beautiful that evening. Feeling dejected, she goes to a place to drink. Coincidentally, the secretary also comes there for a drink. Jin recognizes him, though he doesn't know who she is. She says, "You work for our VIP patient, right? He's a terrible person." She's talking about Sang-yeon. She asks, "How can you work for such a disgusting man?" The secretary asks how she knows about him, and she replies that she works at the same hospital. The secretary says, "Those are all rumors. My boss is a good man. Don't spread such lies. People who do that should be silenced with money." Jin replies, "You can't buy everything with money. Peace of mind is important, and you clearly don't have it. You're troubled. That's why you're drinking here." The secretary offers her a drink and says, "Here, drink this and get lost. You talk too much." Elsewhere, Uju's mother arrives in Seoul by bus, bringing food and water, and messages Mari that she's going to her in-laws' house. Mari panics, runs, and tries to call her, but her mother doesn't see the call. Uju comes out and asks what happened. Mari explains everything. Just then, Jung appears and says, "Mari, it's your turn to present inside." Uju tells her, "You go show your project. I'll go to your in-laws' place and stop your mom. Send me the address." By then, Mari's mother has already reached the in-laws' house. They don't even let her enter, and instead humiliate her, hurling insults, 10 for Mari and 20 for her mother, making fun of them both cruelly. They even push her out, slamming the gate so that all the food spills onto the road. Just then, Uju arrives and helps her. He introduces himself as Mari's colleague and asks her to come with him. The mother, still shaken, says, "My daughter isn't as bad as they said. You didn't hear anything, right?" Uju assures her, No, I know her. She's a really good girl. The mother then begins talking about Mari, and Uju escorts her to the bus stand. There, she calls Mari and says, I couldn't meet your in-laws, but I'm with Uju now. He helped me, and I'm heading home back to the village. Before leaving, she tells Uju, please don't tell Mari anything about what happened today, and boards a bus. Later, Uju takes the spilled food and goes to Mari's house, the one her mother visited. At that moment, Uju's sister Jean calls Mari, and the next scene cuts to Mari, who looks very upset. Uju asks what happened, and we learn that Jean has told Mari everything, but twisted the story, saying awful things like, why does your mother even come here? She argued with my mom, and now my mom's health has worsened. She's in a coma because of her. In reality, it's all a lie. Jin's mother is perfectly fine and even happy. Uju comforts Mari, telling her to talk to her mom. That night, Mari calls her mother and tells her everything, how she lost her house and now lives in a new villa she got through a scam. Her mother listens and says gently, it's okay. Stay strong. You've done well in your work. And then, Mari's mother tears Uju's photo out of the family picture and throws it away. She starts dancing with joy because deep down, she always knew that Uju and his family were toxic people, not good for her daughter. Now, she's celebrating because they've finally gotten rid of something bad from their lives. Meanwhile, Uju is seen happily spending time with his girlfriend, whose name is Jenny. She says sweetly, baby, I'm going to meet my friend. I'll text you later. Go to your room and rest for now. But Uju's pants are wet. He has already read the message and knows something isn't right. He starts following her secretly, remembering the hotel room number that the man had sent in the message. He runs up the stairs and sees his lovely girlfriend kissing another man before entering the room. And I don't need to tell you what happens next. Poor Uju, he's been completely betrayed. What can I say? That's just how life goes for guys like him. Back at home, Mari is happily eating the food her mother cooked. Just then, her mom calls, saying she can't find her purse. She suspects she might have left it in Uju's car. Mari calls Uju to check, and yes, the purse is indeed there. Inside the purse is a photo, showing a taxi driver, a little girl, a woman, and another small girl, the same one who had saved Uju when he was a child. That's when everything clicks for Uju. The girl from his childhood was none other than Mari, and the taxi driver in the photo was her father. But Mari doesn't know any of this yet. Uju had actually discovered it earlier. Back when he entered the hotel room, he had seen that same photo there. From that moment, he realized who she really was, the girl who had helped him in his childhood. That's why Uju had been so kind to Mari all this time. The same man who once found her irritating and avoided her now listens to everything she says, helps her in every way, and even comes to her house with new ideas like the wedding photo shoot, doing everything he can for her. Because for Uju, Mari isn't just some girl or a toy. She represents his entire childhood. Whenever he was scared, lonely, or missed his parents, he would look at that toy she gave him. There was a small button on it. When pressed, it played a little tune. And now that Mari is back in his life, he's fallen in love with her. He does everything she says, treats her well, but never tells her the truth, that he's known who she was all along. He's kind to her because that toy, given by Mari long ago, has brought him comfort his entire life. Meanwhile, the guy who cheated and left Mari earlier has come back from Seoul. He calls Mari and says, I'm back, darling. And that's where episode 4 ends. The man who betrayed her has returned. It happens in real life too, doesn't it? We get hurt, take a few emotional slaps, and still go back to the same place. That's it for this episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video, alright? I'll see you in the next one. Until then, bye.